Hi, and welcome to another Watch Geek video. Today, we take a look at two Spinnaker watches, one recently introduced, and one that has been a part of their collection for some time now. So let's first cover the newly released Cahill New England. The watch is 43mm in diameter with a lug-to-lug of 50mm, making it borderline too big. The thickness is 15.1, but kinda wearable. I wish the watch was smaller, but in Spinnaker's defense, they did offer the first generation Cahill in 39, and discontinued it as a result of poor sales, so I can't really blame them for making this one in big size only. The watch is powered by the NH35 movement, a Seiko-made go-to movement for more affordable micro-brand watches. It beats at 21,600 bph, comes with both hacking and hand winding, and has a quick set date. So nothing spectacular, but if worn constantly, it will work reliably for years, if not decades. The case on this variant is DLC coated in black, and although I dislike coated watches, as they do look terrible once they scratch up, this one does look good while it's brand new. The bezel has 120 clicks and features a mineral crystal insert with loomed markers underneath, going for the modern 50 fathoms look. It's fairly easy to grip and has a very good action feel, especially considering the price. The loom itself is okay, and you should be able to see the time throughout the night with your eyes adapted. The dial, usually my favorite part on Spinnaker watches, doesn't disappoint on this either. Although pretty simple at first glance, as it's matte black with a simple white crosshair, it redeems itself with the applied brushed numerals that look blacked out most of the time, but shimmer and come to life when the light hits them at an angle. It also adds another level to the dial that is continued with the chaptering that is also raised to that same level and features applied loom. The hands are finished the same as the markers and actually reach the minute markings on the chaptering, meaning they're of proper length. All this should make me like the overall look, but sadly the use of Rolex-styled Mercedes hand makes this a no-go for me. I simply dislike when brands use it. I know 90% of the hands out there are a copy of someone else's design, but somehow this design is the only one that bothers me when copied. I'm especially disappointed when I know Spinnaker has their own original design used on Bradner and some other models. I wish they used that, as that design has become part of their DNA. The watch does feature a slightly domed sapphire crystal that, in combination with the glossy bezel, gives this tactical-looking watch some flashiness and flamboyance in a way, especially combined with the loomed markers. The crown is signed and has a decent screw-in action feel, and the watch comes on a thick 22mm leather strap with a matching DLC-coated buckle. With this flashy tactical model out of the way, let's take a look at the minimalistic take on a tactical look, the Spence Drab edition. This is the most minimalistic Spinnaker watch so far, which to me translates to the most boring. The dial is also matte black and features the white crosshair, but markers are pretty simple, like the ones used on the Bradner. They're matched to these pencil hands, making the watch look like something from Degas. To complete the minimalistic look, the aluminium bezel insert has only the first 15 markers marked and loomed, while the rest are simply not there. Although I'm against these kind of design decisions where style is put above function, it's actually a detail I like on this. I also like the size. With 41mm in diameter and 47mm lug-to-lug, this is currently one of the smallest Spinnakers available that wears even smaller thanks to the thick bezel and shrunken dial. The only dimension that ruins the great size is the thickness of 14.5, which is a lot for a relatively small watch, especially when it's slab-sided like this one is. The whole case is bead blasted and has a pretty massive crown that is easy to grip, even though it's very well protected by these massive crown guards. The watch is powered by the same Seiko NH35 as the Cahill that is visible through the exhibition caseback. Although this watch, with its size, the minimalistic design, and incredible legibility, should be my favorite Spinnaker so far, it simply isn't. There's a small detail that bothers me and stops it from dethroning the Tessay bronze as the all-time great. And it's the hands. Not so much the boring design, but their size and lume application. They're simply too short, and by that I mean the minute hand. I can forgive that on some watches, but on this, it causes more than a few issues, making it impossible to let it go. First, it simply doesn't fit a watch this legible. It should reach all the way to the markers for easy and precise time reading. Next is the lume application. Even though the hands are pretty legible in daylight, they lack that same legibility in the dark, as the lume is applied only on a small portion of the hands, making the already short minute hand even shorter. And finally, this shortness combined with the fact it looks exactly the same as the hour hand makes the distinguishing of the two slightly difficult, especially in the dark. So they should have either made the minute hand longer or opted for a different looking hour hand. This watch also comes on a leather strap just like the Cahill. And for all of you who, like me, dislike divers watches on leather, the good news is that Spinnaker will start offering rubber straps as an option, and even bracelets for some of their models, which is something I'm really looking forward to. So these take a slightly different approach to the tactical look. One is blacked out but manages to be a bit flashy and refined, while the other is very minimalistic and pretty basic. Although both are interesting and drew me in at first, the small details like the Rolex hands on the Cahill and the short minute hand of the Spence make me stay away from both. If you, on the other hand, are not bothered by these details and want one, these can be had for $350 when it comes to Cahill and $245 US when it comes to Spence. These are full prices that can naturally be brought down by at least 20% using my code WatchGeek20, or if you happen to stumble upon an even greater one, you can drop the price even more. So the Spence is basically a sub $200 watch, which is fair considering the specs. And Cahill is around $280, as you pay a premium for Sapphire, DLC coating, and that crystal covered bezel. Anyways, this completes the review, so thank you for watching. I hope you liked it and found it useful. If you did, please like and subscribe by pressing this button right here, and until the next video, bye.